everybody, welcome back to the channel, back to our continuing series where we take a look at each year of the 1980s. It's 1981, and where we compile our own personal list, top 50 songs, give them our own scoring system, compile them, and do a consensus at the end of the. I'm here with Doc, Brian, Massey's Man Entertainment, and Randall Nelson. We know it's a small sample size, but it's for our own little clicky group here to see where we stand on these songs from 1981. We expect to branch out further. The 70s, we were more cohesive, but I think as we get into the 80s, you're going to see our wings spread. That's just a fact. So tonight's order, we've got Randy going first, followed by Doc, then Brian, and myself. Let me just pull up the chart and see what we have to offer. And by the way, we're going to do the top half of our top 50s. It'll be 25 songs. We'll try not to belabor each one, but give you a little taste of what was on the list. And away we go. Randy's top 25.
All right. Starting out with 25. Letting You Go, Tom Petty, great song about kind of lingering attachment. Central Park and West, Ian Hunter, great catchy chorus, and you got, of course, Mick Ronson on guitar. Jesse's Girl, Rick Springfield, great power pop by a soap opera star. Don't see that too often.
Yes.
Top 22, Talk to You Later, The Tubes, kind of cool tune with Toto's Steve Lukather on guitar and bass. We got So Long Baby Goodbye by the Blasters, which great roots rock. 20, Burning for You, Blue Oyster Cult, stylish rockers, one of their most popular songs. 19, I've got I Love Rock and Roll, Joan Jett, just great rock anthem. 18, I've got Everything She Does Is Magic by the Police, one of their biggest hits. I'm sure you might have it up there higher. 17, I got In the Air Tonight, Phil Collins. But I will admit, I'm not a huge Phil Collins guy or Phil Collins Genesis guy, but this is probably my favorite of his. 16, Just Give Me a Reason. Mink DeVille, great horns on this one. If you like Southside Johnny and Asbury Jukes, I suggest you listen to this song. 15, Tempted, great squeeze tune with Paul Carrick from Ace on lead vocals on that one. Then I got 14, Waiting on a Friend, Rolling Stones. Love the video for that one, if you remember that.
A great video.
Yep.
13, I got The Voice, Moody Blues, great symphonic arrangement on that one. 12, Winning, Santana, great Russ Ballard pen tune, probably their most pop style song.
Yeah.
And then 11, I've got Graveyard Rock by Garland Jeffries. He kind of combined rock, reggae, and soul, and he also touched on social issues, although this song doesn't.
Top 10.
Here we go.
Number 10, I got Stop Dragging My Heart Around, Stevie Nicks with Tom Petty. Just a great tune written by Petty and Mike Campbell, with many of the Heartbreakers participating. 9, I've got Veteran of Psychic Wars by Blue Oyster Cult. It was used in the film Heavy Metal, but it's got a great middle section with these dueling guitars by Buck Dharma and Eric Bloom. Just one of my favorites. 8, Marie Marie by the Blasters. Great tune. It's kind of as if Chuck Berry was a rockabilly artist. Just a scripture. 7, I've got Under Pressure, Queen and David Bowie, of course. Great collaboration from those two. And of course, the bass line's famous. Then somebody else who will remain nameless stole it.
Come on.
Number 6, New Lace Sleeves, Elvis Costello off his Underrated Trust album. There's a sophisticated melody, clever lyrics, and it's one of Elvis's own favorite songs. Number 5, I've got another Mink DeVille, Love and Emotion, just a classic DeVille romantic ballad with no original members of the band left. It's just Willie DeVille, the lead singer on that one. Number 4, You Better You Bet, The Who. Townsend comes in with some really sly lyrics on this one, and Daltrey attacks the lyrics with just a great performance. 3, I got Every Grain of Sand, Bob Dylan. This is the highlight of the Dylan's Christian trilogy. It's kind of like a prayer for salvation. Number 2 is The Waiting, Tom Petty, Song of Waiting on Your Dreams, with great call and response chorus on that one. And number 1 is There Must Be a Better World Somewhere, B.B. King, a song written by Doc Pomus and Dr. John with David Fathead Newman on sax. It's a song we can all relate to in these times, I think.
There's some deep cuts there.
Totally.
I like it. I like that. I wrote down like 4 of them. I was like, wow, I got to listen to these things.
Yeah, definitely some unexpected, but that's a Randy list for sure.
It
You
is a
got
Randy list.
anytime you see Mink DeVille and the Blasters and Garland Jeffress, that's Randy.
You know it's Randy, yeah.
So let's go to Doc's list, if I can get to it without screwing this up too badly. All right, Doc, there's your top 25.
I think this is going to sound like a Doc list again. So maybe the deeper cuts we saw from the other things. But hey, this is 1980. What are we in here? 81, 82, 81. I'm finding myself in my music, man, and I really am. So starting it off AC/DC, it's from Those About to Rock. It's a fantastic follow-up album to Back in Black, if you want the truth. It doesn't get talked about a lot in the AC/DC catalog, but there's some great tunes on here, and you'll see that in my list. ZZ Top's Pearl Necklace. Don't know what the song's about, but I really like the tune. So
You sure you don't, Doc?
let that one ride for a while. ZZ
Right.
Top puts out a couple of good tunes, man, here, and this is a great one of this one. So like Randy here, I like Face Dances here from The Who as well here. So I got the quiet one, and I think there's a few songs on this album from The Who that are really good to me, man. Got a little Ozzy coming in right after, Flying High Again. I think Ozzy's got some really good solo stuff that he does after, and this is one of the ones that is like top 5-ish for me from him on the solar side. So still vibing the Cars, the follow up and everything else that they do later on. Shake It Up. It's just a catchy Cars tune, man. They've got that sound that really resonates with me, man. And when it hits good. So got 38 Specials, Hold On Loosely. It's, you got the Van Zants here coming over, and it's doing their own thing. And they have a couple that pop up here in the next couple of years for me that are going to make my top 25 for sure. Placement might be one thing, but Hold On Loosely is a great tune, man.
Mm-hmm.
Jay Giles, Freeze Frame. You can have a couple in here. Centerfold, Freeze Frame. They had a few off this one, and he's got a few more coming up too. So just a catchy tune from that era, man. And it's liked it then, still like it now. The Harder Side of the Kinks, man. Destroyer is a great tune, man. What a great rock song from the Kinks. You know what the truth, man. This is a heavier vibe, heavier sound, and don't really expect it from them, but they pull it off really good, man. They don't even pull it off, man. They're really good at it. So the intro to Def Leppard follows up, Bringing On the Heartbreak. It's you can see that these guys might have some staying power when you see this one. So Bringing On the Heartbreak is pretty darn good, man. I also like The Waiting from the Stones. From Petty. You had that a little higher, I think, Randy, but it's a great song. So I think the overlaps that we see here on some of these things is pretty weird, because there, I Talk to You Later, there by the Tubes following it right up. So yeah, that's agree. The Tubes are a odd kind of bunch, but they got some catchy songs, and this one I really like. Still like it to this day. To me, it's probably their best, but there's a few that they're on the catalog that are good. Jukebox Hero from Foreigner. Foreigner's got a pretty damn good album out here, man. So it's where you want to place maybe a song that you pull off this album, or a couple songs that probably make the list. I'm sure I'm going to have a couple on my list anyway. My Canadian Side shows up, man. There's Red Barchetta from Moving Pictures from Rush. This album's fantastic, man. It's the album for me of the 81, and you'll see that as we move. But yeah, I might be Canadian, but I think this is, to me, the best trio in music ever. So it says a lot for what I think, but I think I like what I like. So
Mhm.
Red Barchetta is a classic, man. Great storytelling. Neil's writing some great lyrics, and they've always got catchy hooks, man. Feel the same way about the Under Pressure, Queen and Bowie hooking up. Yeah, probably gets paid a lot too much and way too much, and probably sometimes you don't want to hear it, but man, it's damn catchy. And the voices speak for themselves in this song, man. Bowie's got a great voice, and Freddie's Freddie. So there's You Better You Bet. There's the Who showing up again. So yeah, I told you I like that bass dances there, Randy. So you got a little higher, but who's to say I'm done? So there's my 25 through 11. So
Here we go into the top 10.
Yeah, top 10.
just
All
love
right.
this tune from Squire, man. Starting off at number 10, Lonely as the Night. What a sound, man. Squire had a couple of good albums back to back here coming up here in the early 80s, man. And there's some songs that
He did,
I
yeah.
gravitate towards, man. You know, this, The Stroke, this is off that same album. He's got something coming up, Emotions, Emotion, and stuff like that coming up in the future here. But this is a rock song, man. You know, there's rock and roll, there's rock. This is a rock song. Floating back to my Canadian side, but Magic Power, great song. I remember hearing it as a kid, and I still love the song. Live, it was fantastic. Seen it a few times. Seen Triumph a couple of times when they were together. Another power trio from Canada here, but it's a great tune, and these guys are another rock band that's, I don't know if the staying power in the States really wasn't there, but ZZ Top was good to them, I can tell you that.
I remember that tune, and actually, I have it later on my list.
Oh, yeah, fantastic. Right on. Randy, keeping it together, man. That's good. Abacab from Genesis, man. It's my favorite Genesis song, man. So it's
Oh, wow. Okay.
I love the tune. There's a groove in there, man. And Phil's I actually just watched a video on it there not too long ago, man. I had to go back and watch it again. This is after the fact, and it was just like, man, this song is just fantastic. Abacab's a great tune, man. Don't know how you're gonna do Genesis after the fact, and yeah, they're really good, man. Phil follows it up in the air tonight, man. I'm a little different than you, Randy. I do like some Genesis, and I like Phil. I have a lot of respect for Phil, man. I really do. This song's still great. It's dark and seedy, and you never know what you're gonna. It's a deep tune, man. And the way it starts off, you don't know what you're really gonna get, even with the synth and the starting. It's a great song, man. It's just another tricky day, man. Told you. It's the Who. What can I tell you, man? My first concert, seeing them here in another couple of weeks. So, big Who fan, like Randy. This one is just doesn't get talked about a lot in their catalog, but Another Tricky Day is a great rock song from the Who. That's all I can tell you. There's a fantastic bass line from John again. Start Me Up, man. It was a staple then, almost like in one sense a little bit of an intro to me to the Stones at that age. And remember one of the things that was new that they had done that I heard when I was listening to my own music. So it's going to have some placement in here. And I got a few off this album. Tattoo is a pretty damn good album, man. It was the big hit. It was a big hit for a reason, man. It's a great tune. Leather and Lace, man, from Stevie and Don Henley. This is another one that I just think is, I love. It's the voices in this song that, it's a different kind of tune for me in one sense, but I like Stevie and I like Don, so it doesn't bother me, man. I like Fleetwood and the Eagles. So this fits my mold, and a great duet, if you want the truth. For those about to rock, we salute you, man. There's that AC/DC following up that Back in Black, and what can I tell you, man? That's where I am. This is look at those top three. Unchained from Van Halen, following that up from Fair Warning. Yeah, debatable. Maybe my favorite. I have a few favorites from Van Halen. This is right there for me, man. Pumping it out at that age too, man. The stereo was cranked, man. And I'd be following that up with Tom Sawyer from Rush, which I think is just it set them on their way in a lot of ways. It made them commercialized, even south. And But I think if you take the song for what it is, the musicianship in this song and the way this sounds and everything else and the lyrics and how they do it, the talent, you go watch the video of that, man. It's 3 really, really talented dudes putting with some different kind of music and setting their own path, man. Tom Sawyer, the classic. That was my easy number 1. I know I'm alone, but that was my easy number 1 for 81.
Excellent.
I would only have to see the number 1 song on this list and know it would be your list, Doc.
Yeah, without a doubt.
So that's
And then
Wait,
you
yeah.
add in Van Halen, The Who, the
Yeah,
Stones. I mean, come on.
just
Rock
that's
all
just
the way.
basic. Yeah.
AC/DC.
The doc list. They're always going to be a
Doc
doc
list,
list.
sure.
Man.
All right, let's go to Brian's and see what we've got here. Top 25. Take
All
it
right.
away.
You can definitely tell that my taste was all over the place here. For your eyes only, I had a huge crush on Sheena Easton when I was young, for sure. And this was obviously the soundtrack song from the James Bond movie as well. Don't You Want Me by the Human League. Dare was a big album in 1981. I own it. I owned it on cassette. I owned the 45s. Just ran the gambit on it. Men at Work here, Down Under, obviously Business as Usual is their big album. Had several top 40 hits off of it. Doesn't have, this is not my, these are not my favorite songs by Men at Work, but it's definitely the most consistent album of their catalog for sure. Number 22, My Girl from Chilliwack, Gone, Gone, Gone. A highly popular song at the time. Then, of course, there was this one here, which, sparked all sorts of controversy from people actually dialing the number to find out who's on the other end of the phone. 867-5309 by Tommy Two-Tone. Probably overplayed there for a long time and turned a lot of people off from it, I imagine. Randy, I feel like I almost put Tempted on almost the same exact spot as you did here at number 20. And then Freeze Frame, Doc, I think you and I were just about in agreement on this placement here as well. I like all the photographic illusions that are in the lyrics to Freeze Frame. I think that's what makes this song really interesting to me. And then Under Pressure, obviously, from Queen and David Bowie, obviously went on to be ripped off by a hack rapper in the late 89, 1990 range. And maybe that was a turn off for some people. But Waiting for a Girl Like You, that should be Foreigner there, I guess.
Yeah, it should be
listed there. But a lot of songs came off of that album. So just a great album all the way through. Then I love Stevie Nicks, of course. And Edge of 17 is probably one of my favorite songs from her as a solo artist, not with Fleetwood Mac. I agree with you on Abacab, Doc, even though the album version's, like a really long song. It's a really great song by them. Chariots of Fire, I ironically a big fan of this. On the album, it's actually just called Titles. But I think at the time, I remember Casey Kasem talking about how this was a rarity to have a musical, especially one that was really classical, put together to be number 1 on the Billboard chart at the time. It was like really kind of unheard of at the time. And but I still love listening to the song. It's really well put together by Vangelis. Let's Groove was a summertime hit for a lot of us when I was young. Played at the pool constantly, and just kind of always stuck with me. Earth, Wind, and Fire is really great. Then I've got a little bit of funk there with Rick James. And so Super Freak, like, I had the Temptations featured on the song. It was always a fun song to me, and I was a 45 that I owned. And my wife would be very happy that I have a Go-Go's tune here with We Got to Be. She's a big, huge fan of them. And, it was a novelty type of sound for the 80s. And but all the songs on, for them are very catchy that were big hits. So I have no problem having them really high like that. So
very good. All right, here we go into the top 10. Cream of the crop.
Yeah, I feel I'm going to be a little bit alone on a lot of these here. Open Arms was a big hit, at dances when we were coming up through high school. There wasn't a dance you would attend that did not play this song at least like twice during the night that you were there. Favorite song by Greg Kihn here, the breakup song. Most people might just say, I mean, that's how they kind of know the song. Regiment here is obviously my standalone track here. I'm a big fan of the Brian Eno and the ambient sound, and this is a collaboration with David Byrne from My Life in the Bush of Ghosts. Really some interesting material here that kind of mixes ambient and world music and krautrock, all sorts of different genres all together. Men at Work here makes its appearance again with Who Can It Be Now, which is I think the biggest hit off of that album, known mostly for its unlike a lot of bands who were like rock driven with guitars or drums or bass. This one was really a saxophone driven song, and it's kind of unheard of at the time, and really big hit. Hall & Oates, I can't go for that. Very nice tune from them. They had a really string of big albums for them in the early 80s that were all massively big hits. Jay Giles Band is back here with Centerfold, which is, obviously known for a lot of things within the song. But Freeze Frame, the album, was really, really big at the time. I owned this 45 and really got an interesting sound for them. I Love Rock and Roll. I guess I like this song almost as much because of the music video with Joan Jett leaning up against the jukebox and her leather and everything else. And I was like, yep, I'm in love. So go ahead and take this song here. This is my favorite song by Foreigner, Urgent. I really just love the rhythm to the song, and really just an all-out perfect example of early rock 80s tunes. Doc, you got to be happy that I had Tom Sawyer this high.
Fantastic pick.
Neil Peart is by far and away, if you listen to this song, you understand why most people consider him the best drummer of all time. The drum solo and at the midpoint of this song is just absolutely incredible. And so many drummers try to emulate it and come up just a little short. But number one, I think at the time, is Phil Collins' In the Air Tonight. I just feel like it's anthemic in a way that wasn't a lot of that stuff going on in the 80s. Everybody was playing it kind of safe with 2.5 to 3 minute songs, and then this song comes along and it has a whole different time signature to it and a whole different feel to it. And I just think it's a great song. Featured, I think people really got into it because of Miami Vice might have resurged this song back into the public eye in the 80s. So that's my list.
Awesome.
Very good.
Yeah, you hit a lot of different areas there. You got some funk and some new wave and pop and some rock and big hits and so forth. So great job. All the way around.
It looks like a Brian list to me, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
It is, especially when you get Brian Eno and Vangelis in there. That really took it, which is great. Anyway, let's go to my excuse for a list. I'm going to kick it off with a monster hit, Betty Davis Eyes from Kim Carnes. I just, for some reason, that speaks 1981 to me, and I wanted to represent it on the list. I also have Urgent from Foreigner, one of their better tunes. Every Little Thing She Does Is Magic by The Police. Catchy as all hell. You Better You Bet, The Who. Undeniably stood the test of time. Every time that's on the radio, I'm into that. Under Pressure by Queen and Bowie. Couldn't leave it off the list. Great combination of 80s artists there. I think I'm the only one that had Joe Walsh, but I'm a fan. I have Life of Illusion on here. I just like Joe's guitar playing and that kind of nasally kind of voice comes up with. It works for me. 19, the breakup song. Brian and I both had that. Ken, they don't write them like that anymore. Love it. And just a catchy, one-of-a-kind song. Joan Jett at number 18 with I Love Rock and Roll, an anthem, like the jukebox video, Leather, like you mentioned. Reminds me of like Pinky Tuscadero from the old Happy Days. You know what I mean? Just like Attitude, and I love Fist in the Air Rock and Roll. Something said to that. I also have Tempted by Squeeze at 17. I love Paul Carrick's voice no matter what band he's in. He brings it every time. Burning for You by Blue Oyster Cult. FM radio staple is number 16. I've always been a Moody Blues fan, and they sort of made a comeback a little bit in the 80s with The Voice. Just one that I had to put on there. Jukebox Hero, one of my favorite Foreigner tunes at number 14. I've got Message of Love by The Pretenders. at 13. I like Chrissie Hynde. I think she's a great front woman for a great band at the time. They lost their energy when two of their members overdosed or car accidents, whatever happened to them. They sort of weren't the same. But their first 4 or 5 albums are really terrific. Don't Stop Believing and Who's Crying Now. I had to put some Journey on my list. I know it's not, looking back, it's not the thing to do, but in 1981, it's a big album for them. And I want to get both of them on here. Then we go into the top 10. I have Hold On Loosely by 38 Special cracking my 10. It's kind of a pop / Southern rock sound that I like. Not as hard as Skinner, not as bluesy as Allman Brothers, but it still brings that Southern rock kind of attitude to it. Man on the Corner is one of my favorite Genesis songs. I just think it's a great ballad and meaningful. I've got Waiting on a Friend by the Rolling Stones at 8. I was thinking about that video too, with them on the steps in Brooklyn or wherever they shot that, New York City. Very effective. I got 2 Dan Fogelberg songs back at 6 and 7 off the Innocent Age album. You got Same Old Lang Syne, which is where he meets an old lover and tells a great story, and Leader of the Band, which is dedicated to his father. Just wonderful songs, songwriters' paradise for me. Leather and Lace, the duet by Stevie Nicks and Don Henley, cracks the top 5. A couple of Petty songs here, or one Petty song that I'm going to lean on here is A Woman in Love, but It's Not Me. Great sound with the Heartbreakers. And then you got The Waiting. It's not Bob Seger. It is Tom Petty.
Tom Petty.
Sorry about that. I do these things and do them over, and sometimes I got the wrong artist in here, so a little bit more careful. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers off Hard Promises album. Then another duet, Stevie and Tom Petty. Tom Petty's heavy on this list here at the top. This is Stop Dragging My Heart Around. It could have been a Heartbreaker song, but Stevie adds the element it needed. And then you've got In the Air Tonight, Phil Collins. You guys hit on that a little bit with the fantastic drumming, the ambiance, the mood. It brings everything, and it had a resurgence again with Hangover with Mike Tyson. Remember that scene where he's...
Yeah, that was funny.
It was funny. So that cracks that's my favorite song of the year. Come back. Yeah. Still very much held as a...
I'm glad I had Same Old Lang Syne on my list, but further down, I think it's a well-written song about 2 lovers, meeting down the road and having to relive the heartache of the breakup that they had earlier in their life,
Exactly. Yeah. So
it's
there's
a good list, Reg.
Thanks.
Sure it is.
Yep. And like we always say, we all bring our own individual
Sure we do.
strengths to each list. And that's why we do it. Just to sample what we like for each year, and hopefully people that don't know these songs will check them out, play them on YouTube, play them on Spotify, add them to their playlist, whatever. That's what we're hoping out of. We also like to get some comments from folks about our list, make their own list, all that good stuff. So I'm going to bring up the main list now and see what the consensus. Yeah, raspy.
Oh yeah.
There we take a look at our consensus of how the songs landed for 1981. Nice. And we did have In the Air Tonight as one of the ones that made it on all 4 of our lists. It had 3 top 10s. In fact, the only song that landed with 3 top 10s out of all, 108 of them that we have here. Leather and Lace snuck in there at number 2. Tom Petty and The Waiting. Then we got a lot of Petty, like I guess love for it pushed it up. There's Tom Sawyer with a 2 and a 1. So good job there at number 5. Under Pressure. Most of the big songs landed near the top. Urgent, Tempted, Start Me Up, You Better, You Bet. That's a pretty strong top 10 for that particular year.
Sure is.
And then you got I Love Rock and Roll just outside of it with Waiting on a Friend and Abacab and Jukebox Hero. We nailed a lot of these songs, and that's why they're getting all the love they do. I'm trying to look for a song that nobody talked about. There's Our Lips Are Sealed. The others Go-Go's hit. all of us had it, but we had it in the 30s and 40s. Made everybody's list.
Yeah.
There's Magic Power. Two guys had Triumph. Doc had it at 9, and Randy had it at 48. I also like Winning by Santana. Good song. Spirits in the Material World had 3 placements, a 50, a 33, and a 30.
Interesting.
Yep. What else? I had the Kink song too, Doc. I had it at 43.
Right on, buddy.
I love it. Limelight had it.
There's my Rush tune there.
Lovely. Right on, buddy.
I had Young Turks. I know it was a poppy hit,
Yeah.
but I thought
I liked it. I
I
liked
did
it.
too. I still like it. No reply at all, rather, from Genesis. There's Tube Snake Boogie. Doc and I had that one.
Yeah, listening.
Still, I don't know what it's about, Rich. So-
Yeah, just like Pearl Necklace. You don't know what that's about either. What else do we have here? There's Billy Squire. Talk of the Town by the Pretenders. Made a couple. I Can't Stand It by Clapton. Here's the George Harrison tribute to the Beatles all those years ago. I had it at 49 and Brian had it at 31.
Oh, those years ago.
Yep. Life of Illusion. Anything else that stands out here? Sheena Easton. There's Styx. Too Much Time on My Hands. Brian had that one on there.
Yeah, I liked it. I like that song.
Stone in Love. Doc had that one by Journey.
No.
Prince had a song Make the Cut at 35. Controversy. There's another Squeeze song that Randy had, Labeled with Love. The Ramones, the KKK, Took My Baby Away. Brian had that one.
I like that one. I
Little T&A, we don't know what that means, but Doc had it anyway.
I got all the weird ones, eh?
Yeah, Dancing with Myself. Doc, way to go.
Yeah, sure.
Tainted Love. Brian had that one. Opera Star, and that was Crazy Horse and Neil. Anyway, that will sum up our list for 1981. Hope you enjoyed the video. Check out our other videos along the way. We're going to be doing 1982 next, which we're going to talk about after we record here, whether it's as strong as 81 or we have our own opinions on that. But we'll come up with a list and see how everything ranks. One big album came out that year, I know, by Mr. Michael Jackson. So we'll see if he gets any play at all. In the meantime, like, subscribe, leave some comments, please. We like comments. We like to get the feedback and show whether this series is working for people or not. We're going to do it anyway, but just we appreciate anybody that watches the video and comments. Anyway, for the guys, this is Rich. We'll talk to you soon. Have a good one. Take care.